your Eagles and news around the NFL. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's. Tonight's show is brought to you by Rob's Automotive and Collision, BCWSA, Chickies and Pete's, Allstate Fairless Hills Tom LaCroix, and Penworth Financial Services, Penn Community Bank, Capital Grill, Ventresca's LTD, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. We are here at Chickies and Pete's in the great Northeast. Merrill Reese, along with Eagles insider. This is me, Mr. Outsider, and it's great to be inside. It's great to be part of this entire season when you look at a football team that is now 11-2 and in the midst of a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, it's great that you say that in the way you lead the show off, Merrill, because it is great to be part of it. It is something rare. Obviously, the Eagles have tied a franchise record for most consecutive wins with 9, and the team just keeps getting better and better. I know Sunday wasn't the most crisp performance, but the Eagles are a very good football team.
They are.
And we knew it coming out of training camp. A little bit of a slow start, and it has been rip-roaring since the bye week, and it's exciting to be part of it. And all 3 phases of the game are winning for this football team. That is the ultimate mark of a team that could go very, very deep in the playoffs.
You know, I don't know why a lot of people were shocked that the Eagles had a tough time against Carolina. Carolina, for the past month, has been a good team. They gave Patrick Mahomes plenty to deal with when they played Kansas City and only lost by 3 points.
Yeah, in Tampa Bay, they lost in overtime. The Eagles actually gave Carolina their worst loss in a month. So, but it was a tough game, and there certainly are things to work on. And I really think that these are the kind of games that you grow from. When it's not going perfect, you find a way to win, and somebody steps up that maybe hadn't stepped up before, or another phase of the team contributes to the victory, and I love that. And at the end of the day, that builds a lot of confidence in every part of the team.
Now, one of my friends, Chicken Little, is here tonight, and he believes that the sky is falling, and he keeps worrying when they have a game like that. Is this going to be like last year? No, there is no relationship to this team to last year's team. The defense is different. You have Saquon Barkley. You have 2 outstanding coordinators. There are so many positive things about this team.
I don't think there's everything positive about this team. You know, you just want to get guys healthy and get them ready to go. And we're down the stretch here, 4 regular season games remaining. The Eagles are chasing the Detroit Lions in the NFC, leading the NFC East by 3 games. I mean, there is nothing but positive happening with this football team. There are always going to be little pockets of concern, little areas where you need to address, and certainly that is happening with this football team. That is nothing, Merrill, that you and I have not seen every single season for the last 30 years.
And then things come up from time to time, and you talk about the passing game. You talk about, is this one getting enough targets? Is that one getting enough targets? I heard a quote from Ron Jaworski today, and Ron said when he played, he said Harold Carmichael and Mike Quick, they'd get into disagreements, not with each other, but about the way the passing game was going, and they worked things out. It's a lot of much ado about nothing.
Well, look, I think that everybody agrees that the Eagles need to be better in the passing game, and that is something to work on. And there is an element of this passing game being really dynamic, and the Eagles need to get back to that level. But that's what happens in the NFL. You go through a week, and when you win, you spend time correcting the things that aren't going as well as you want them to go. And so everybody acknowledges that the passing game's got to be better. There's a lot of reasons for it. Everybody's working together to get it better, and I look forward to seeing how that manifests on Sunday when the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town in what should be the game of the week in the NFL.
One of the things that Nick Sirianni said in the locker room right after the game that I really love was he turned to the team, and guys were upset that they didn't play as well as they thought they should have. He said, don't get wrapped up in expectations. Enjoy. Feel the joy of winning, because it's not easy to win in the National Football League.
I actually felt that was one of the things last year. The Eagles would win a game, and then they would just never have a chance to really enjoy it. They were always kind of chasing the play, the performance of the year prior, and I think that's a great message from Nick. And it is hard to win in the league. It is very difficult to have a 9-game winning streak. To be 11-2 is rare. The Eagles have been there for the last 3 seasons. So enjoy it for a brief time, come back hungry, get better, and see what happens on Sunday against Pittsburgh. But I think this team is extremely eager to get back on the practice field tomorrow.
Well, I think they are too, and they get more physical on the practice field on Wednesdays now, which they weren't doing earlier in the season.
Yeah, especially with the punting game. I mean, the punter gets beat up a lot, and I think that's something that we really need to talk about in this.
Well, we're going to, because we have a very, very special guest
with us. You don't say.
I do. We have a very special guest today, and we're talking about one of the great punters in the National Football League. He has been outstanding since the day he arrived last year, and I'm talking about Eagles punter. How about a nice welcome for Braden Mann?
The reigning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, Braden. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
That's great. You are Special Teams Player of the Week, and the reason is because you have done some amazing things. The punch you had the week before, which was down at the 1 yard line in Baltimore, that was amazing. And this week, you, at a very critical time of the game, you put it down at the 2 yard line and actually into the hands of Avonte Maddox, who went down.
Yeah.
Now, that's a great feeling. How do you develop that touch?
It's a great feeling, but it's an even better feeling and more confident when those guys are down there. I mean, this week it was Avonte Maddox. He made an outstanding play, and on that one it may have gone a little too deep, and he kind of saved me there. So, shout out to Avonte. And then last week it was Sydney on the other side. So those guys have been so good, and it's so much easier to punt with some confidence when you know those two guys are there and Keely Ringo on the outside. So it's been a lot of fun with those guys.
When you say too deep, what is your target point?
Kind of depends week to week. On that one, we were like, hey, if they fair catch us at the 7-6 yard line, that's great. Like, they still have 93 yards to go, and that one just caught a little bit more on it. The wind was definitely a factor on Sunday, so kind of pushed it a little bit. But Avonte was there, and he did exactly what he could have done. You
have a pretty good feel for the wind by the time kickoff begins. I mean, you're out there an hour before testing the wind in each direction.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I kick so many balls on game day to try and get used to it, and so does Jake. Rick snaps a bunch in the. Quarterbacks are throwing a bunch in the wind to try and get used to it. So that's great, but it also can change game to game and quarter to quarter even. So you could have 3, 4, or 5 wind switches in a game. So it's kind of a very fluid situation we got to be in.
There was a lot of discussion this week about the fact that Nick decided to forgo a 54-yard field goal or 55-yard field goal that would have given the Eagles a 9-point lead and figuratively locked up the game. And Nick felt that because of the wind, because of the circumstance, he was better off punting. And it turned out to be a great decision. And I think in a situation like that, it's not so much that he didn't have confidence in Jake. I don't care who the punter is. When you're punting into that wind, it's very, very critical. If you miss it, they get the ball near midfield.
Absolutely, yeah. He has all the confidence in the world in Jake, and that is something that he voices often, and as he should. Jake is a phenomenal kicker, has always been a phenomenal kicker in the league, and so he knows he can nail that. But in that case, it was very windy and unpredictable. So it's not just a constant wind. It was extremely unpredictable and gusty that day, so you just never know what you're going to get. And so in that case, it also showed a lot of faith and trust in our defense, because our defense has been so good the past however many weeks, the entire season. So definitely showing a lot of confidence in them, which they really feed off of.
I think when you think of windy stadiums, you think of MetLife because they can open the doors and things can happen. But Lincoln Financial Field is off the water, and it is sneaky windy, isn't it? Like I know you guys go down there once a week, and you're always on the field. What is it like, Braden? How much of a factor is the wind, especially now that we're into December and the weather's a bit nastier? It's certainly colder. The air's heavier. How big a deal is the wind?
Yeah, it's always a factor for us. I mean, the first thing, just out of instinct now, when I wake up every morning, regardless if I'm kicking, I just look at the wind. I'm just always it's such a big part of like our daily lives that that's one of the first things I'm checking in the morning. So at Lincoln Financial, it's definitely it can be a little unpredictable in there. I mean, in some stadiums, like you mentioned, like MetLife has the one open end that it just constantly flows through.
I think
at Lincoln
Pittsburgh's
Financial,
a bad one too, right? Pittsburgh's
open
too.
Yeah, it's off the water. They have the open end on the water too. It's the same kind of thing there. We have the one open corner, so it comes in there. If the direction is that way, it comes into that corner and then it swirls all around. And so you really have to be able to change in the moment and like trust what you feel in the moment, and not like what you maybe felt in pregame. So it's definitely a little bit unpredictable, but taking it kick by kick.
I know you're a mailman, so tell us, you'll deliver no matter what the conditions are. But if rate the problem: wind, rain, snow. What else is there? Cold. Like what are the factors that bother you the most?
And locusts.
And locusts.
It's either cold, rain, or wind. Those are the three that snow is kind of, it's okay, but it's not as wet as rain. So cold, wind, and rain. And I'm always like, 2 of the 3 elements, you can handle mostly handily. If they get really out of control, if it's pouring rain, that becomes a little bit of a problem with catching the ball and so forth. But I would say I'm good. If it's freezing cold and there's no wind, no rain, I am a happy camper. So I would say when a ball gets slippery in the wind or in the rain, that's pretty tough. And then in the wind, once the ball leaves your foot, it's up to God at that point. So.
Yeah, and even if it's really bitterly cold, the balls are warm. The kicking ball, the K ball, comes in for the kick.
Right.
So they keep it warm and so it's not like a frozen ball that you're kicking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nick was talking about the K ball as compared with what he called the quarterback ball. Mm-hmm. Can you explain the differences between those 2 balls?
Yeah, so the quarterback balls are a lot. They're so different. It's almost unbelievable. If you had 2 right here, you wouldn't believe that those are both used in the same game. The quarterback ball, they can break in for the whole week, and so they are scrubbing. And some teams do it differently, but a lot of times it's with mud or whatever the case may be, just kind of getting the balls worked in the way they want to. So they work them out for the entire week, and then they throw with them all week, get used to them.
So they throw with game balls in practice?
They'll test out, make sure they're all, like their practice balls at least.
How many of them do you have set for game day?
Oh, for quarterback balls, I don't know. It's so many. It is at least I don't know, actually. I think it's at least a dozen, though, just because you never know how many balls you're going to lose or in the stands or whatever. So I think they have about a dozen, if I had to guess. For us, it's 3 balls, and they arrive on game day. They, in the box that you'd buy from the store.
They're brand new.
They are brand in the box still. They bring them to the stadium as if you just bought them at Dick's Sporting Goods. So they are brand new. And then we have one of our equipment managers break it in. He has 30 minutes. And he gets nothing but I think maybe a brush and some water. That's it. So he doesn't get to use anything on them. So it's just him trying to get it, humid in there and just try to break in as much as possible. But he gets half an hour to do it, and he's great at it.
And that's the idea is that they take the sheen off the ball, all the oil off the ball, so it travels further and you get a better contact point.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like for us, we don't want a really skinny, long football. You want it, a little bit fatter, as we say. So we try to compress the ends of it a little bit, make it a little bit wider for us. Open. You
can actually do that without messing around with the inflation.
Oh yeah. As long as the balls are as long as the little hole isn't damaged in any way, you can mess with it a bunch of ways. So if you get some time, I could bring in a ball where it's almost like a soccer ball at this point.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's so thick. So that's why they don't allow it. Is because if you were given a week, you can make it look like not even football anymore. So
I did not know. Merrill, did you know that?
Well, I knew that.
Learning something?
I didn't notice that exactly,
yeah.
But I did know that the quarterback ball was roughed up, so that he can get a better grip on the ball. But I thought that there has to be something to keep your foot from sliding off the ball if it's too slick.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. So they make it a little bit smooth. There's all the little dimples on the ball, so they try to get rid of those as much as they can and just kind of make it easier.
I didn't know you could manipulate. I didn't know you could change the shape, the size of a football
just not the weight.
So easily.
Right.
As Tom Brady found out.
Exactly. Can't take anything out of it or put anything into it, but you can kind of manipulate. That's why they don't give you that much time. Half an hour, you can't change the ball that much. It's really hard to. So, yeah.
So is this? I wonder, is this why so many foreign kickers, Australian rules football players, don't have that much of a transition to an NFL ball, because they can almost, in theory, make it into an Australian rules football shaped ball.
Yeah, I think it's. That their style of punting is pretty crazy. They grow up punting in Aussie rules football. I heard that it's 85% punting is their game. So that's everybody grows up doing
footy.
it. So exactly, footy. So when we grew up throwing baseball with our dad in the driveway, they throw up punting with their dad in the driveway. So it's just they're so used to it and they have such good feel and touch for it. I think it's totally different styles. We're used to hitting just as high and far, long spirals as you can, and their touch is pretty unbelievable, and it's very instinctive to them.
Once upon a time, the Eagles had a special teams coach, and his name was Bobby April.
Yes, I know.
And Bobby April told me something that I have always remembered. He said the person who has the biggest effect on the defense is the punter, because you can completely flip the field.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I agree with that. I think it's the whole punt team, obviously. I mean, you could have a great punter. If he punts it 80 yards and you've got nobody down there, then, what good are you? So it's definitely the guys on the outside. I mean, you notice a huge difference with, Keely Ringo, Sidney Brown, Avonte Maddox. Those guys are so good. And then the protection inside, I think our punt team is incredible. It's one of the best punt teams I've ever been on.
Well, we saw last night, Cincinnati-Dallas, end of the game, blocked punt. Ball is touched by Cincinnati in the return game, or Dallas in the return game, recovered by Cincinnati, and they go in and win the game.
I asked Michael Clay about that. I said, are you prepared for a situation like that? He said, yes. He said, what we teach is if the ball is partially blocked and going downfield, we yell poison, and everybody scatters. That means don't touch the ball. But if you looked at the poor guy from Dallas, the ball was practically in his lap. Yeah. He just didn't catch it. Yeah. And boom, that ended the game, basically, because then you had Joe Burrow go bing, bong, Jamar Chase, game time. All right, we have a great guest tonight, Braden Mann, the Eagles' great punter, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. The holiday entertaining season is back, and there's no better place for holiday cheer than Chicky and Pete's with a nice cold beer. Book your holiday party right now. We have open bar specials and an unbeatable all-you-can-eat menu. It includes our world-famous crab fries, delectable Chicky's boneless wings, tasty tenders, and our piping hot traditional pizza. Or let us bring the holiday cheer to your place with an unforgettable visit from our Chicky and Pete's Crab Fry Express food truck. We've got you covered this holiday season at the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at Ventresca.com.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO Today.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
When an Eagles player gets hurt, the team takes care of him. When you get hurt, the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will take care of you. They understand that a severe accident can be a life-altering event. You need a reliable teammate to fight for you. The attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will get you great results. And if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Contact them today at 215-750-0110 for a free consultation. 215-750-0110 for a reliable ally that's on your side.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are at Chickies and Pete's in the Great Northeast, and our guest tonight is Eagles outstanding punter Braden Mann. Braden, you began in high school playing linebacker, I understand.
I did.
And then you fractured your back, and you didn't know if you could play again, so you decided to punt. Is that how it worked?
That's pretty much how it went. Yeah, I played linebacker my whole life. Wanted to do it in college. Obviously, knowing what I know now, that was never really going to be possible for me. So, fractured my back for second or third time my sophomore year of high school. So, ended up making a change to, at the time, field goal kicking, which I did for all of high school, and then I ended up punting in college.
You're a great athlete. What other sports did you play?
Growing up, just about everything you can imagine. The only thing I didn't do was tennis, really. So, yeah, basketball,
which
baseball.
was Jake's sport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we can maybe compliment each other a little bit. Yeah, so basketball, baseball, soccer, swimming.
Did you have visions of Braden Mann playing college, fill in the blank sport?
It was always football for me, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, my sport growing up was Taekwondo was my main. That was what I did 7 days a week for a long portion of my life. And then, there was never really a huge future in that for me. There's not really a whole lot of college sports involved with that. It's either Olympics or nothing. So, I ended up wanting to do football.
How did you learn to punt?
I was a little bit natural at it just because I did Taekwondo my whole life, and so I just used my feet a lot and kicked a lot. I was kicking everything growing up, so soccer balls, people, whatever. So, it was a little bit natural for me. And then I went to some camps and learned a lot more about how to actually properly do it and be a little bit better at it.
What is the layman's way to kick a football the right way? To punt a
kick
football
or punt.
the right? Yeah, to punt a football the right way, and then to kick a football the right way.
Yes, punting football. The best way I can describe it is if you want to hit a spiral, which is like the main. That's what everybody thinks is punting. You want to tilt the ball. Basically, if you imagine a clock, the tip of the ball is going to be pointed at 11 o'clock. So you have 12 in front of you here, then you have like 1, 2, 3. But if you go the other way, it's 11. So you just tilt it slightly. Everyone thinks you have to really cut the ball to try and get the spiral. You don't. You just swing straight up and through it. But if you tilt that ball slightly, it just spirals right off your foot. And it was the craziest thing when I first learned to do it. So then I just got addicted to trying to make it spiral.
And at what point on the ball are you kicking? Are you kicking it in the middle of the ball, or are you kicking it is that the sweet spot? Like, is it like golf? There's a sweet spot in golf.
Right.
Where is the sweet spot in a football?
Yeah, for punting, it is dead center of the ball. It is as close to the center as you can get. For kicking, it is a third of the way up the football. So that's the sweet spot for kicking.
I have a close friend who is a great admirer of yours, and he talks about what a great punter you are. And he punted in the National Football League for 22 years, and his name is Sean Landetta. Yeah. Do you remember watching Sean punt?
I did not watch a whole lot of NFL football. I know who he is. I know his whole career. It's awesome. So to even know that he knows who I am is really cool.
Oh, he knows who you are. He thinks
you're
terrific.
How old are you?
27.
So what year were you born? 2000.
97.
So when did Sean finish? Like 2003?
Oh no,
2004?
Sean punted for a lot of. He punted for Andy Reid twice. With the Eagles. Well, he punted for Andy Reid in Green Bay. He punted for Green Bay, the Eagles twice, Tampa Bay,
the Giants,
and the Giants. he punted for 5 different teams.
Yeah.
And punted for that long. Probably. Yeah. I mean, should be in the Hall of Fame one day.
I think he was a 2-time All-Decade
punter. He was.
That is great.
Yeah.
2-time All-Decade is a ridiculous.
2-time All-Decade. It's really amazing.
Ridiculous accolade.
But you should hear Sean talk about you.
Well, that's all.
He really thinks the world of you.
That's very humbling. I appreciate it. I would love to meet him and talk about it a little bit.
Braden, what? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What numbers matter to you as a punter? Is it gross? Is it net? Is it field position? Like, is it inside the 20? That's the big. Like, what are the big important statistical measurements that define success for you?
For me, it's situational punting. It's not. Like, as much as the numbers are fun to like track and keep along with, I think that numbers get blown way out of proportion in every stat, whether it's gross, net, inside the 20, whatever. Because I think every game is just different. And so you could have a guy who, is let's say the Dallas returner, Cavante Turpin, incredible returner, and you throw up 4 fair catches to him, and he doesn't gain a yard on that day. That's a win.
That's a great day.
That's a win. If you net anything over 43 yards against Cavante Turpin, you are getting out of there. You're like, get me out of Dallas. I loved that game. Great game. But that wouldn't even put you in the top, I don't know, 60. That wouldn't even put you in the top half of the league, is that net that day. So I think it's very situational. In good situations in the game, like late in the game, you want to pin them back deep. You're not always going to have the best numbers, So as I've gotten older and as I've punted more, the numbers are start to mean a little bit less, and the situational punting matters a little bit more to me.
Now, how about hang time? Now, I would think with a guy like Turpin, you want a lot of hang time.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do it a couple ways. You can either put a lot of hang time on it, or if you hit it out of bounds, he can't get there anyway.
Yeah.
So different punters attack it different ways. Some guys prefer to hit an out-of-bounds ball and don't even worry about the hang time. Some guys prefer to hit a hang time ball that their guys can cover. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it.
Well, that was the interesting thing about the end of the game last night. The announcers, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were talking about how, okay, the punter's back. I don't know who the punter is for Cincinnati. Turpin's returning. And what are they going to do to Turpin? Now, it flashed back to me, 2010, Eagles against the New York Giants. Deshaun Jackson back, getting punt return for a touchdown. So did you get a sense of where he was trying to kick it? The punt got blocked, so we never found out. Would you have kicked to Turpin there? Would you have tried to pin him on the sideline? Would you have tried to drive it into the end zone?
And before Dave finishes this question, let me add to it. Is that your decision, or does Michael Clay send you out there and tell you don't punt it to him, or give you a specific aim for doing it?
Yeah, it's a collaborative thing. Basically, if Coach Clay is like, hey, we do not want this ball in his hands, it is either then it kind of is up to me of hey, what feels best here? Do we hit a ball that he doesn't like to catch? Do we hit it out of bounds? Do we hit it really high? And so kind of the conditions also determine that. If we're at home and late in December, then the conditions might determine what we do there. If you can't hit the ball super high, then maybe you got to get a little better with the placement on it and hit out of bounds. So
what's a ball that he doesn't like to handle?
There's just so many different punts.
Give it. This. I feel like I'm in science class here.
Yeah,
it really is a science.
There's a spiral, which is very common to hit in the open field. Then there's a pooch punt, which is the very close to
end over end.
Yeah, it looks like a kick. If you just see the ball, it looks like somebody kicked it like kickoff.
Okay.
And then there's a banana punt, which is going it's going diagonally, and it moves for me from left to right.
Right, like a slice.
Exactly. And then there's the opposite of that, which I just call reverse banana punt, which is the exact opposite rotation, which guys a lot of times don't see.
That would be a draw.
Merrill's got everything related to golf.
Yeah, so
everything is related to golf.
For all golfers, a banana is a fade or a slice, and then a reverse banana is a draw or not. Hopefully not, but a hook. Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah, so there's a few different things you can put on it. Some different stuff that maybe a guy doesn't like so much.
Yeah, I mentioned Sean Landetta, but I have to mention another guy to you, and I don't know if you ever heard of him, and I do know that you went to Texas A&M. So when I started this thing, broadcasting the Eagles game 120 years ago, they had a barefoot kicker who set all kinds of records at Texas A&M. And I don't know if you're aware of the name. His name is Tony Franklin.
Yeah.
Do you know, does he have pictures up? Or he
sure
is still a person to Texas A&M?
Absolutely. His name is in our specialist room. Or at least, I don't know if they changed it since I was in there, but when I was there, his name was in our special room a few times for a few different things. So definitely a name I saw in college a lot and looked up to.
Have you ever kicked without a shoe? Have you ever experimented that
I've tried
approach? And
it hurts more for sure. Yeah, definitely. I don't know how he does it, how he did it in the cold or
I don't know why he did it. What Merrill, do you remember what was the reason? Did he feel that he had a better?
He felt he had a better grip on the ball when he did that.
Okay.
And he kicked it right on the instep of the arch, and he swung the leg around, and he was very, very good for a while.
Yeah, that's interesting. I definitely want a thinner cleat. If you get a really cushiony cleat, you can't feel the ball very well. So I want a thin cleat. But I think just skin on ball, it just hurts a lot more.
Now, one time the Eagles were playing the Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa Bay in a playoff game. And without any instruction from the coaches, he decided that he was going to onside kick. And it didn't work out. And Dick Vermeil, who was the coach at the time, chased him up and down the sideline. And Tony was trying to outrun him. Do you remember that at all?
That may have been a little bit before my time.
Okay, it was a crazy moment. And one other funny thing about last night, we learned that I think his name is Cody York, who was the kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cade York.
Cade York.
Yeah.
Cade York and his girlfriend was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Oh, fun. Yeah. There was an incident over the
She
week.
didn't know when to applaud.
Yeah.
I think what's great about the new rules in the NFL and the way things have changed, like the kicking game is so prominent, and people are recognizing that the kicking game changes everything. And no matter kickoffs, field goals, extra points are being missed, block punts, returns, great punts. And then on Sunday, I don't know if you watched this. I'm sure that you. Darren Rizzi, I guess is the guy's name in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The punter punts and the Giants guy returns it for an apparent touchdown and it got called back. But the special teams coordinator went off on the punter.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was really showed him up and inappropriate. I don't know how you felt. It eventually was called back anyway. Mm-hmm. Was he yelling at him because he kicked the ball in the wrong direction, or it was supposed to be a directional kick over here and it went over here? Do you have any idea, any news on that, any tea on that, if you will?
I don't have any. I have no personal knowledge of that. It's hard to tell exactly what it was, but it's one thing I do know is that Rizzi is extremely well respected in special teams world, and he's their interim head coach, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So he's obviously respected by everyone there. I mean, in some of those situations, everyone's been reamed out before for something they've done, and so obviously there's a lot of tense moments in games, and so. I'm sure that they, after the game, were able to talk about it a little bit more, and it's highly emotional. And the game is extremely stressful. It's our job. It's in front of so many people and fans, and just sometimes you just get caught on camera doing something you don't want to do. But I would need a lot more context to know exactly what was being said.
It'll never happen to you because number one, you won't make that mistake, and number two, I honestly believe that your special teams coach is just a special coach. I really think that Michael Clay will one day be a head coach because he has that bearing, he has that authority. I think he's a terrific coach.
Absolutely. He is he's one of the best people I've ever met. He is an amazing football coach, a great guy, just a joy to be around every day. Going to work is a lot of fun when your boss is the way that Coach Clay is. So he is awesome to work for. It's a very collaborative effort, like I said, and so he is always willing to listen and have a good back and forth. So he's awesome.
Back with Braden Mann right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies medium and tender wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp. Plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m., only at Chickies and Pete's.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs. A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are at Chickies and Pete's in the Great Northeast. Our guest tonight is Eagles punter Braden Mann. Braden, tell us, when the game is going on, are you actually able to watch the game and study, or are you constantly going over to the net and warming up? What is your spectator's role as a player?
When we're on defense, I get to watch and relax a lot more, for sure. When we're on offense, it's a total, getting ready to do our job situation. So it's kind of funny. Me and Jake and Rick talk about it. We never get to really enjoy a touchdown. We're always running out to the field being like, all right, we got to get everybody ready, everybody set, everybody off the field in time. So we never get to enjoy a touchdown as much as everybody else does. But it's good to watch our defense, too.
Braden, how has kicking off impacted you in any way?
I play more, a lot more now. Yeah, for sure. Kicking off, I did it in college my whole career, so I was pretty used to it. Not a whole lot's changed since then. I've done it off and on since being in the NFL, just because of, in New York when I was there, they liked kickers kicking off. And so if they would get hurt, though, if they had injury or whatever would happen, then I would come in and replace them.
Did it require you to retrain that way, or have you always been ready as an emergency kickoff specialist?
I've always stayed a little bit ready. I definitely worked more into it this camp, knowing that was a strong possibility of that happening. So I have done it more this year than I've done in the past couple of years.
And with the new rules, I imagine you've practiced every conceivable landing spot, spin. What's that been like for you with new kickoff rules that really, knock on wood, have not impacted the Eagles?
Yeah, we've kind of maintained kicking it deep for the most part.
Yeah, almost always.
Yeah, there's a few times where, if we see something we like, then we'll, put it in play for the guys. But we've almost we've maintained pretty much hitting it in the end zone, depending on the returner. So we definitely have practiced every kick there is in the book, we think. Jake is also really good at them, hitting the knuckleballs and in all the crazy stuff he does. He's extremely coordinated, so me and him just kind of work back and forth on different ideas and what we can do.
Do you know why you're the kickoff man? Jake has always been the kickoff man before, and he was good at it also. But is there something that you do, or a reason that you as the punter are doing the kickoffs this year?
I honestly just I go out there when I'm told by the coaches.
Which is always.
Which is always this year. I didn't, we don't really get an exact reasoning. That's a decision above me. I'm happy to do it, happy to do whatever I need to do. So if they think that Jake is, should be doing the kickoffs, then he'll be happy to do it. I'm happy to sit for him. So it's there's a few different reasons for it.
Have you practiced tackling because you're kicking off?
maybe once during our tackling circuit. Yeah, at that point, it's kind of like just let the adrenaline kick in and hit him in the knees and hope he goes down. So if he's running full speed at me, that's all I can do.
Do you look forward to that moment, dread that moment, hope you never, ever face that moment?
I pretend I dread the moment, but I kind of look forward to it a little bit. Yeah, I pretend like I dread it to our coaches, but I kind of look forward to it.
Have you ever made a tackle?
Yeah, I for whatever reason, my first year in New York, I think I had 5 solo tackles. So it was a big kickoff.
5 solo tackles?
Yeah, it was a weird year for kickoffs and punts that year. I think I had 3 of them on punts and 2 on kickoffs. So I don't think I've had one since then, though. So just all 5 came at once for some reason.
They call this the new dynamic kickoff system. What do you think of it? I'm not so sure it's dynamic, but it's supposedly safer.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any more dynamic. I'm with you there. I think it's less. It's less moving parts, so it'd be less dynamic. Yeah, I think the same thing. But I think it's a good mix-up. I think if it keeps the kickoff in the game, then I'm all for it. There's been proposals to get rid of the kickoff altogether, which I think is just. I think that would be the wrong decision. I think the kickoff is a great way to start the game.
I do too.
Yeah, great opening play. So I think if it's a way to keep the kickoff in the game and make it safer for players, I think I'm all for it.
And I think it's reached its objective, which is to have more kickoff returns. And that's what the league wants to see. There have been some big plays, and I think the kickoff is very, very exciting. The idea of an extra point commercial, touchdown commercial, extra point commercial, and then come back for a kickoff touchback commercial, that's exactly what the league does not want.
Exactly.
I have to mention another guy that you faced, well, not you faced, but the Eagles faced last week, and he didn't do anything special, and that's Tommy Hecker, who kicked for the Rams for 10 years. He was known as a guy who at any given moment could throw the ball, and he didn't try that this week, but at some point he's dangerous. Have you ever been asked to throw a pass from punt formation?
It's got to be in the playbook. It's got to be in there.
Yeah, we have a few different options in the playbook. I mean, we threw the one last year against Dallas.
Yes.
We threw that one to Alameda Zacchaeus, who's now with the Commanders. So that was a fun one. We had that one schemed up for a little bit, and Coach Sirianni the night before was like, I hope we get to run this, and I hope the situation comes up, and it did on the first drive, I believe. So that was a lot of fun last year.
Braden, I'll get to it in a second. Braden, it's interesting. We talked about all the categories that are really important to you. What is important, as you understand it, to selecting the Pro Bowl punter? Like, what is do they go just strictly on, like, net and gross and touchback, like in a formula? Is there a formula for it? Do you have any idea?
I don't know about – there's all pro and then Pro Bowl. I know Pro Bowl is, like, it's just straight voting. So, I think it's a third it's somewhat fans, somewhat players, and somewhat coaches all voting. Yeah. So, in that case, it doesn't really – like, there's no – exact formula. It's just about whoever
I think it's net and gross.
Yeah.
Gross and net.
Yeah. So people would have to have some sort of idea, and I imagine the first thing they look at is gross and net. That's usually the 2 stats that come up the most. So I'm sure that affects people a lot more in their voting.
Well, it's time now for this week's injury review, brought to you by the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio.
Hey, you got it.
Contact them today for a free consultation at 215-806-3689. That's 215-806-3689. Dallas Goedert on injured reserve. Merrill, he will miss at least the next 3 games. We hope to get him back here for the end of the regular season. Otherwise, I think the Eagles came out of Sunday's game against Carolina in pretty good health. We'll see if Sidney Brown is able to come back after missing the game with a knee injury. Britton Covey missed the game with a shoulder injury. We hope he gets back. Dynamic punt returner.
Yeah.
And Reed Blankenship missed the game with a concussion. Hopefully he is back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, that would be good to know.
That'd be great. And, the thing is, maybe fans really don't take it into account, but that's 4 players that the Eagles really, really count on. And what I love about this team is that depth has been tested so much, and Tristan McCullum comes in and plays well. And then, Cooper DeJean goes back and returns punts again. And over and over we've seen Isaiah Rodgers replacing Slay, and Grant Calcaterra catches his first touchdown catch of his career, replacing Dallas Goedert. I love the depth. It must, for you, Braden, and everybody in the locker room, everybody must feel like they're contributing to the success of this team this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something Coach Sirianni preaches a lot is everybody's role. Whatever your role is in that moment, and these guys, everyone on the team buys into it completely, and it's the way they practice too. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're on the depth. Everyone practices as hard as everybody else. Like it's full speed, it's full go, and everyone practices every week like they are going to be playing. So I think that just makes it so much easier when you are thrown in the game. I mean, Grant Calcaterra, he's done an unbelievable job for Dallas if Dallas has ever been out. So it's been fun to watch those guys come into the role.
Finally got his first NFL touchdown.
It's awesome. Love it.
Happy to see that.
Absolutely. We were all stoked for him.
All right, Braden, let's talk a little bit about you. New York Jets. Things seem to be going pretty well, then all of a sudden they weren't going well. Can you kind of explain your view of how that all went down and what it was like for you to make that transition from New York to kind of looking around, looking for a job?
I got a call in the offseason. This was after so I was on a 4-year, my rookie deal, and after my 3rd year, got a call in the offseason that they were going to be releasing me and getting another guy in. So went to the waiver wire and got picked up by the Steelers, who we play this week. So got picked up by them, was with them in 23 from the beginning of OTAs all the way until I actually made the 53-man roster the opening day, and then they released me a few days later. So kind of a whirlwind last year. And then was on the couch for 2 weeks watching NFL games and got to come here and play here in week 3 last year. So it was a great transition in terms of, the guys in the locker room and coaches, Coach Clay, Tyler Brown, Coach Sirianni. They've all been so good and welcoming, so it's been awesome.
So did you work with Danny Smith with the Steelers?
I sure did. Yeah. Danny is
he's a character.
He's absolutely. He's a legend. He is so well respected by everybody, and he's a ball of energy. I'll say that for sure.
His first NFL job was with the Philadelphia Eagles, Ray Rhodes' coaching staff.
Yes,
do you remember that?
I do.
What did you learn from the whole experience, Braden? Of it's not for long, right? The NFL. What life lesson was there for you?
Got to keep it pushing. I just never know what direction my life's going to go in, but I know that if I keep working, it's gonna all work out for the best. And my wife was the best throughout it. She moved with me, and we were living in a hotel or this Airbnb or Air apartment or whatever. So she has been incredible. Without her, there's no way I'm here today. So
did you ever go with her to a park and she snapped the ball to you?
Absolutely. Actually, coming out for the draft.
I mean that.
Yeah, we dated in college, and so when I was coming out for the draft, it was COVID. It was 2020, so midst of COVID, no one was allowed to do anything. We would go to the indoor facility, and she would snap me jugs balls like I was holding, I was catching, I was punting. So she filmed my virtual pro day. So she was there for it all. She's been there for it all. She's been amazing.
See that? My wife still to this day, after all these years, has flashcards, and she'll call out numbers, during the week, 92 or whatever, and I'm right there, 22, Najee for the Steelers.
Najee Harris.
Awesome.
Najee Harris.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fun. All right. We have a special guest. It's Braden Mann. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. The holiday entertaining season is back, and there's no better place for holiday cheer than Chicky and Pete's with a nice cold beer. Book your holiday party right now. We have open bar specials and an unbeatable all-you-can-eat menu. It includes our world-famous crab fries, delectable Chicky's boneless wings, tasty tenders, and our piping hot traditional pizza. Or let us bring the holiday cheer to your place with an unforgettable visit from our Chicky and Pete's Crab Fry Express food truck. We've got you covered this holiday season at the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free Checking Plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs. A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
So, Dave, if you see number 88, that would be Pat Freiermuth.
Yes.
The tight end out of Penn State.
Well done, Merrill.
And the other guy to watch out for, if he plays, I don't know if he's going to play, he's got a groin pull, but that's George Pickens.
Hamstring.
It was, they said groin in this.
Did they?
Yeah, but
he missed
regardless,
last week's game.
He missed last week. Have you seen George Pickens? He is really a very, very talented receiver.
Extremely talented. Yeah, watching him, I was at camp with them in OTAs last year, and he was.
Well, that's right. You were there.
Yeah, he's something else. He is. He made some of the best catches I've ever seen just in training camp, and it's pretty wild. It happens almost on a daily basis.
You know, it was amazing, Merrill. The Steelers have not won in Philadelphia since 1965.
Right.
Amazing.
At Franklin Field.
At Franklin Field.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have something else to do. It is time for this week's Penworth Financial Keys to the Game. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com. Dave, your number one key to an Eagles victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I always look to the offensive line, and the Steelers' defensive front is outstanding with T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward and the pressure packages that they have. So I'm going to say that Eagles must control the Pittsburgh front seven.
Okay, I'm going to add one. Hit some downfield passes. And I'm not saying that to have anything to do with what happened against Carolina, but the Steelers are so tough to run against. I mean, so far it doesn't matter to Saquon Barkley. He runs against everybody. But I think against this particular defense, you're going to have to go downfield a little bit to A.J. Brown and to Devontae Smith. You know, a couple in the 25 to 30-yard range.
Sounds good.
Okay. You want to give us a key to the game?
Oh, for me, mine's always going to be playing complementary football, you know, because there's going to be something that happens. You can make the best game plan in the world, but right when you get hit in the face, something's going to happen, something's going to go wrong. So I think just all three phases playing complementary to each other. And
what's amazing, we didn't even mention Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, when he played with Seattle, was so difficult for the Eagles.
Eagles never beat him, did they?
He's 6-0 against the Eagles with that 5-0 in the regular season, 1-0 in the playoff game. He is elusive. He is crafty. He's rejuvenated his career with the Steelers. And hats off to Russell Wilson, 6-1 as a starter this year.
And you know we were here to welcome Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm. Sure was, yeah.
Okay, so those are the keys to the game for Penworth Financial. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com. Did you get to know Mike Tomlin at all?
I did, a little bit. As much as a punter can get to know a head coach for sure.
Yeah?
He was great. He was just he would always want to sit and chat with whoever was there. So he's a great coach.
See, you're lucky in the sense that you were there with a great organization. The Rooney family is wonderful, and with the Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles organization, it's really a great organization. Now, I'm not asking you to say anything bad, but the Jets don't do quite as well.
Yeah, I think the overall record, just throughout the past however many years, let's say you go back 20 years and just go to each team and what they've done, I think it's largely a culture thing. I think the Steelers have a good culture over there. Under Coach Tomlin, I don't think they've had a losing season.
Never.
So
Correct.
So that's it's a pretty outstanding accomplishment. And then obviously here, I don't know the exact amount of winning versus losing seasons the last 20 years or so, but it's just a culture thing. And Mr. Lurie, the whole Lurie family, and all of the front office do a great job of establishing that. And then our coaching staff, players, just like keeping up the culture of what is Philadelphia Eagles football.
They also, I have to add, they also have a great kicker. Chris Boswell has been around a long time, and he's one of the most accurate kickers in the league.
This game is going to be a great game. The Steelers are 10-3.
I think so.
I mean, this is a must-watch game. Can't wait for it to be Sunday already.
Important for the Eagles, but critical for the Steelers,
Yes.
who next week play Baltimore. All right, we pick games every week, and Dave was better than I was last
Wait,
week.
by how much, Merrill?
You had a 7-1 record. I was 4-4.
Ooh, a
so
three-game
on the
pickup.
season, I am now 38-18.
Okay, I've missed a couple of weeks here.
Well, yeah, but I took out those weeks. They didn't
Okay,
count.
all right.
And on the season, you are now 35 and 35
I'm
and 21. Yes.
So I'm 3 games behind you.
Yes. You
right.
are 3 games behind me. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Number 1, the Rams at San Francisco. Dave,
I will go San Francisco.
you're going San Francisco. Braden.
Oh, I'm in. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one.
Okay.
On the
Okay,
road.
I'm going with the Rams.
All right.
Dallas, nothing more can happen to Dallas. Dallas at Carolina.
Oh, gosh, I never like to take Dallas, but I've got to catch you, so I've got to go Dallas.
Okay, I'm taking Carolina.
I'm taking Carolina at home too.
Okay. Washington at New Orleans. New Orleans lost another. They lost Derek Carr again.
Yeah, I'll take Washington in that one.
I'll take Washington.
I'm going to go with New Orleans in that one.
Are
at
you?
their place? Yeah, I
Boy,
think so.
Braden likes to live on the edge here.
Okay. I don't think I have to ask you. I'll just put 3 Bs down for Baltimore at the Giants.
Yes, you can count me in on
Right now, the Giants would have a tough time with Pennsbury.
Not that bold.
That's the high school up there.
You're not that bold, right?
Buffalo at Detroit.
Wow, great game.
Would the Bills?
Let's go Buffalo.
Let's go Buffalo.
I'm going to go with the AFC in that one. I'm going to
Yeah.
go Buffalo.
Yep.
Can the Bills lose 2 in a row?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
sure
know.
can. Detroit's a very good football
Oh,
team.
they're good. All right, New England at Arizona.
I'm going to go with Arizona.
I'll go Arizona as well.
3 for Arizona. Tampa Bay at the Chargers.
Tampa Bay at the Chargers. I will go Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers, but every week I think they're
Then I'll
going to win.
Then I'll go Tampa Bay.
Then you're going to go Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I got to catch
Every
it.
week I think they're going to win, but, Justin Herbert does everything but win. I mean, he's great, but they don't win.
Phenomenal talent. I will go with the Chargers in that one, I think, if they're at their place.
Okay.
All right, lone wolf here.
Here's one. I don't know if anybody is going to win this one. The Jets at Jacksonville. A game that means absolutely nothing.
I've got to go Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
I'll go with the Jags as well.
I hope the Jags, because I love Doug. He's a great guy.
But you went with the Jets?
But I went with the Jets because Aaron Rodgers is still not playing badly. He threw for 300 yards last week. Green Bay at Seattle.
I will take Seattle in that game. Only because you have Green Bay there.
Okay. Braden.
I'll go with Green Bay on that one.
Me too. All right, we're out of time. You've been a great guest. You're a great punter. You're a great guy.
Thanks so
Dave,
much,
we'll be
Braden.
back
Thanks for having
next
me.
week here. We thanks to Lee Alexander, who was our waiter tonight. We thank you, Lee. And the producer of Pro Football Report is George Forster, PGA. And Chris Irmer, of course, is our great technical director.
makes
Thank
it
you,
all
everybody. We will see you next week.
Go Birds!
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL.